continue this series that we have to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the 1995 World Series for our Atlanta Braves. And today we are just blessed to have a beautiful panel of guests, including Big Boy from the mighty Oukast, who is also an actor. I mean, just an extraordinary hip hop legend. Also Shanti, former music exec, philanthropist, and all around culturist, I would have to say. Also, Greg Street, everybody. Greg Street, radio personality, philanthropist, and just someone who truly cares about the city of Atlanta. All three of these people have a vested interest in our city, have been authors to what the city has become and will continue to become throughout the rest of their lives. And we're just happy to have you all here as we celebrate this 25th anniversary of the Atlanta Braves. How y'all doing today?
Good. Good, man.
Great.
Fantastic. We're doing good.
Good.
Yes.
So, Big, I want to start with you. I want to go all the way back to August 3rd, 1995 at the Source Awards. You got on your Atlanta Braves jersey. Y'all get on that stage. Dre says the South got something to say.
Yeah.
Was this an authentic moment? Was it a planned moment? What was that moment like for you? And looking back on it, did you know it was going to be such an unprecedented moment that it would become legendary?
It was definitely organic. I mean, for one, we didn't know that we were going to win for Best New Artist. And when we did, we didn't know we were going to get booed. You know what I mean? We was just like, okay, damn. And, when we won, we were so, proud of ourselves. But at the same time, like the frustration and some of the anger bubbled up on stage, when Dre was, almost, brought the tears a little bit. And then he just said what came to his heart. The South got something to say. Our whole thing from the get-up was about being some of the top lyricists in the game, and we felt that we proved that, and we wanted to be, embraced by the hip hop mecca. And then when we got booed, it was like it just stoked the fire that much more, and it just made us greater.
Yeah. Well, when you all decided to rep the A like you did, particularly with the Atlanta Braves gear, what was that? What was that? The decision that came behind that? Was that something that somebody suggested, or something that you said, I gotta have an A on my back?
Oh no! I mean, from day one, it was Atlanta, everything. We had to rep our city from the days of the dungeon, And when it came time to shoot the Players Ball video, Dre had on the Braves jersey, I had on the Braves hat with the afro with the poke chops coming out the side of that mug, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Soul to hell, and even to the Source Awards, we had to put it on our back then to let them know where we was from. It was always Team Atlanta. And to see where we started and where we are now, man, just really proud that, Atlanta's still on top.
Yeah. And Shanti, you were there with the guys, sitting in the crowd, not knowing what the night would offer. Tell me about the feeling of being there, watching the guys that you have been working with and will continue to work with throughout, the majority of their career. What was it like for you, knowing that things were changing right in front of your eyes?
So for one, it was just surreal because, the mood, and, Big Boy can attest to this. It was a weird vibe, in the theater that night. And of course, the infamous East Coast, West Coast beef was kind of brewing. And, you had, Suge and his crew and Puff and the Bad Boy crew. And growing up from Atlanta, I have to just mention, like, Atlanta always gave love to everybody.
Yes.
We were listening to the BDPs and EPMDs of the world, just like the Dr. Dre's of the world, and Michelle A and folks like that, and down south into Miami. So for us to finally kind of be up in New York, right, where technically hip hop was born. Great.
What's that, Greg? Wow.
It's a picture of us in 1994 at a retail shop in Dallas with Greg Street. We're gonna get to that in a second, but
bend down.
That's right. So to be in New York City, right, where technically, hip hop was born and breakdancing and so forth, and for us to finally have our moment, when the guys won first, I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. I was like, well, I'll be done. We won. Like, it was like my heart sank with joy in a good way, And then when the guys got on stage and to hear people booing, you know, of course, I was really sad, and I can only imagine what Big and Dre felt like. But what I kind of learned was that New York was just mad that somebody from New York didn't win. That was one of the ways that I looked at it. It wasn't so much that they were booing, you know, Oukast. It was just that they were booing anybody that wasn't from New York at the time. And like Big said, it just fueled us and gave us that much more fire. Like, okay, like y'all booing us, now we're gonna really show y'all what we got and what the South is about. But you know, it was a moment, I think, in time that will go down in hip hop history. You know, you can talk to any genre. I mean, you can talk to anyone in any genre of music or, you know, any walk of life, and they talk about that moment. You know?
Yeah. It was an iconic moment. Greg Street, you were in Dallas around this time, and you personally broke Oukast. What was it about Oukast in Atlanta that just resonated with you, and knowing that they had something special?
I actually had never ever been to Atlanta.
Wow.
I'd never been to Atlanta, period. And we just created a bond through the phone, because you know you didn't have no social media, nothing through that like that. So I would talk to Rico and talk to Big, talk to Dre, talk to Mom Benjamin, talk to Mia Red, talk to all the people that was associated with them. And you know, Adrian, I hate to bust your bubble, but the first big stadium show was Texas Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I had Oukast perform at our event at the radio station, like they had just came out, and it was so crazy. And they had on them Brave jerseys. Yeah. I still got the pictures. Texas Stadium, 1994.
I know Greg got everything, man.
Yeah, you know, and Greg remember everybody's name, from the lunch lady in Dallas to the lunch lady down here in East Point. Okay, he know everybody.
No.
But to watch Big and Dre organically just bring what everybody called their own sauce, and the whole thing with wearing the jerseys in their videos and just making it a whole part of their fashion, and just bringing it all to the mainstream. Because like you said, they were underground at first. Nobody really accepted them. But you got to think, even though people booed, a lot of people in New York were still out fans. And that's why the industry people was booing in the event, because they already hearing what's going on in the streets. They already hearing what's going on in the community. Like, hey, them boys out the A got something for y'all ass, and y'all around here playing. And, you know, because you got to think, at the Source Awards, it's all industry people. Mm-hmm. It's all your peers. It's not the people from Brooklyn and the Bronx and Queens and Staten Island. It's not the real people. So you got to imagine, they had real fans from New York, from the city. And if the real fans are talking the way they talking, it's going to make the rappers from that city feel like, oh man, they taking over. So they always come out, even to this day, they still come out with that kind of side way talk about Atlanta, or that mumble rap or this or that. You know, it's always something. But it's like, you can't talk about us because we're doing it and y'all just talking.
Mm. Yeah. I think it's important.
Yes, it's a marathon.
Right. Go ahead, Shanti.
It's important to mention that with Greg, you know, breaking Oukast in Dallas in 1994, but for him to be coming to Atlanta in 1995, to me, is really, really special, because, you know, again, he got here in that year where everything kind of turned, and like we finally started getting the national attention that we deserve.
Right. Big, when did you feel like it turned from the Source Awards, and then the Braves winning the World Series? Like, when did you feel like, okay, yeah, they know we really got something to say now? What was that time period like for you?
I think it was after the Source Awards we started working on the ATLiens out. I remember Rico Wade, he took and rented out the whole top floor of the Biltmore Hotel downtown. He was like, we're going to start the album off here. So I was just sitting in the hot tub writing raps for about 3 months. That was the hot tub Tony came from.
Right.
The biggest piece. You know, we were so used to just being in the dungeon or being at Boss Town, which is now Stankonia.
Yeah.
Like, now we have, you know, budget was right. Baby was on the way. So, you know, we just really had to buckle down. So all the noise wasn't the focus. It was like, we knew who we were and we knew, you know, what we had to do. So it was like a maturity phase of, okay, now let's really destroy, you know what I mean? And we just really buckled down and made ATLiens.
Yeah. And Shanti, as a music exec, being also like having to have strategy behind pushing Oukast, but being a fan of Oukast as well. How were you able to toe those lines and still keep that Atlanta spirit there, but also be responsible for these amazing artists who you were breaking?
I think first and foremost, it was important that I was from Atlanta, right? That I understood what it meant for LaFace Records, to put out this group that could finally put some artists on the map that would give us that credibility that we needed in the hip hop genre, if you will. Because the cool thing is, LA was a fan of the music, but he didn't really go out in the clubs at night. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't on Headland and Delow all the time. And so I hung out. I grew up around Greenbrier Mall. And so everything that Big and Dre was talking about, it was my life. It was my backdrop. So I felt like not only did I have the A on my chest, right? I felt like I had the whole city on my chest, right? We had a unique opportunity to really put this group in the forefront of not only America, from an international perspective, and really put Atlanta on the map. So, we went hard, whether it was 12 inches in the club, performances at the warehouse, all these little hole in the wall clubs. Big will tell you, like, I remember him and Dre, they'd be knocking on my door, getting on my nerves. We'd be in some little backwoods town, but we were all committed.
You ain't never opened that door either.
So, but we had fun with it. And so, we had success at LaFace. Tony Braxton was already doing her thing. TLC was doing their thing. And now, here we come with a whole new vibe that LaFace wasn't even used to. But, the notoriety and the respect that the guys were getting, like, it was undeniable. Right. Yeah. And so now, the label had the pop side, we had the R&B side, and now we had hip hop. And it was really just a matter of taking this message, to the masses. And, we would go out to LA and do the summer jams and go up to New York, rest in peace to Big Cap, who, played Oukast a lot early on in the beginning days. And, it was just a joy to work with them. But more importantly, I grew up going to Braves games, so the feeling of the World Series and the Source Awards, like, my cup was full. You talk about pride. I don't even know a word to describe it, for we finally got a ring in the city, and we finally got a hip hop group to represent us. It's like being able to look in the mirror and see yourself for the first time. I see the Braves winning. I see Oukast. I see Headland and Delow. I grew up there. It was a reflection. Oukast and the Braves in '95 was a reflection of me and who I was as a Georgia peach and as a Southern girl. And it just brought so much pride to me.
Right. So Big, man. So were you printing T-shirts when the World Series, when we won, and were you actually printing T-shirts around that time?
Yes, absolutely. My aunt Renee, who I was living with at the time, worked for this firm EAR Enterprises. They were like brothers that made. You remember Stay Soft Roll, the hair care product?
Yes.
They owned that, and then they started a T-shirt printing company. So they were responsible for printing the World Series shirts and everything. So I was working on the loading dock. Like, one of my first jobs, like, was crazy, and I never could see it happening. You know what I mean? And Dre was working at the Brave stadiums. Like, he was working at the stadiums, popcorn, peanuts, what up? You know what I'm saying? So he was out there seeing Dion come through with the Lamborghini and all that. He'd come home and tell me, like, hey man, these boys out here ain't playing. I'm like, damn. So they would never hire me though. The Braves wouldn't hire me. But I made T-shirts, and I was good enough for me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Ain't stop me from doing that, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, what attracted you to Atlanta coming from Dallas? Did you feel the buzz other than the opportunity to make money as a radio personality and so much more? But what was the that magnetic draw that led you to Atlanta? Was it Oukast and the Braves and all of that, what you saw from a distance that attracted you here?
Well, I went to Dallas in '92, and you know what happened in Dallas when I landed in '92? They won the Super Bowl. I came to Atlanta in May of '95. In October, they won the Super Bowl. So
you're a winner.
Hey, it is what it is. And I got to apologize to LA too, because we go off on it a little bit sometimes. LA, we really appreciate you for putting the check behind Oukast and having people like Shanti Das around and KP and all the, what's my man's name? DL and all the people in the office, Charlotte and everybody who was down that put it all together. But for me, it was like, I had never ever been to Atlanta, like I said. And I was working in Dallas, and this job became available. Actually, V103 wanted to hire me in '90 when Ryan Cameron got the job. But if y'all remember back then, V103 had 2 program directors. You had Mike Roberts and Tony Brown at the same time. So Ryan was Mike's protege, and I was Tony's protege all the way back from Mobile to Houston. So Ryan got the job, and I stayed in Houston. And then fast forward after when it got thick in Atlanta, you needed somebody to really come swing that bat, you know, because they weren't really paying back then. So when the heat came and they needed somebody to come swing that bat, they came on with the check, and I pulled up.
Right. Awesome.
The city. I love the city from day one, because I tell people all the time, I had never been to Atlanta, but when you fly to Atlanta and you've never been here before, and you've heard rumors and stories, you can feel what they're talking about from the airport.
Yeah.
You can feel it. When you land and you walk into the airport, you can feel, oh yeah, it's some whole other stuff going on in this city. Like to come into the city, I think my first trip when I came, Escape had a show at the Roxy. And Tony took me to the Roxy to the show. And of course I was talking to Big and Dre and Mom Benjamin all the time, and they was, giving me information and telling me about different stuff that was going on in the city, because we always had that relationship even back before I even came, before I even saw them. And then they flew to Dallas, and we finally met in person before I moved here. So it was like Atlanta I could tell it was a city that I could call home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a kid too, to be honest, as a kid, I played baseball. You know what I'm saying? Fought in the Pike Club, Little League baseball team. We went to the World Series back in the day. But I played right field and center field. But for real, my dad used to come to Braves games like almost every year. He would take a weekend off and come to see the Braves play, and that was like one of his men trips that he would always take. So Atlanta, it still kind of had a special place. And then another thing that really kind of sold it for me, SELC had a convention in Dallas in like '93. And that's why I met Dr. Lowry and Mrs. Lowry in South Dallas. They had the parade. They had the SCLC parade, and I met them. And just to see the vibe of the people, and me not really knowing about this, because like back in '88, '89, when I worked in Mobile, Warner Brothers had these Martin Luther King CDs that came out. And when I would take my road trips to DJ, I would listen to them CDs over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, I probably listened to them a million times. So then by the time when I met Dr. Lowry and Miss Lowry, and then when I came to Atlanta, then I met Reverend Orange and Miss Orange and Hosea Williams and some of the King families. Like it kind of all put it all together, like what the whole city was really, really all about.
Right.
Can I add something, Rashan?
Sure.
I just want to add, with me being an Atlanta native, I used to go to a lot of Braves games as a little girl. I was a bit of a tomboy. But I can remember, my uncle, Lewis, used to buy me the programs every time we got in the stadium. And I actually learned how to keep stats. So that's why I learned about RBIs and home runs and hits and all of that. And so it really became a thing for my uncle and I, and one of my favorite pastimes. So when the Braves finally got that ring, and then I was able to start working with Oukast, and to see how Oukast put the Atlanta merchandise on their back, man, it was like being a kid being in a candy store. Like it don't get no better than that.
Right.
Because
I'm gonna tell y'all a story that some of you guys on the call may not know. Ison Lohman, who's an alumni from Morehouse, who came out with the A hats, with the cursive A hats. He actually saved the Athlete's Foot franchise. Like the franchise was almost in bankrupt. Like I can remember a guy in Dallas had a store in Redbird Mall. He was trying to sell the whole store with the inventory and everything for $25,000. Isom came out with these hats, and they started putting them in all the different videos. And these hats actually saved the entire Athlete's Foot franchise, because everybody in corporate started looking at what Isom was doing and saw what was going on. And it would played a major part in saving the whole company. So, I mean, the Braves is connected to so much stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
We talk about Chipper Jones and Hank Aaron and all these different Bobby Williams, all these different people on so many different levels. The Braves is the fabric of a whole lot when it comes to Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. Big, when you look back on, deciding to put the shirt on, deciding to wear the hat every day, and then you all really were at the forefront of this thing called the A. It's not just Atlanta. It's the A. Do you look back and see all that you all did? And is it surreal for you, or you felt like that was your duty?
I mean, you never know when you enter and it's happening. You just keep doing what you're doing. But now as you look back, you're like, wow, we did that. You know what I mean? For Atlanta to garner the respect and just the honor that it got right now. I mean, just proud of it. It's still to be here and still being on the forefront of everything and just kind of living how you want to live, man. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, you know. Even call Atlanta home and just be right here and own several small businesses in the city and create, money for the economy and me employed and so many Black people that's on my payroll for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's a good thing. Never knowing that just the microphone, this music, and the fans could contribute in so many different ways. And it's a blessing, man. And I'll never take it for granted. Never.
Absolutely. What was it like, I mean, I know, but I need to hear from your perspective, Big, like socially in 95, like what was the scene like?
Socially, we was going a lot of, the real, that people saying like old Atlanta and new Atlanta. It's new Atlanta and true Atlanta. That's what I say. You feel? So, I mean, that's just the facts. I mean, it's like, ain't nothing old about it. I mean, forever 27, you feel me? Still young, healthy with a strong back. But, it's a lot of Club 112 and all that going on. And we were young, going to the different strip clubs, patronizing the clubs, having fun. And at the same time, just working on albums year after year and then going on tour and just seeing the love for Atlanta spread. And then, the other artists that, started coming up from behind us, like the Goody Mobs and the Ludacris and the T.I.s, and then they got stronger and stronger to the new generation of rappers, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the scene is good, man.
Yeah. Shanti, what do you remember most about that time, but besides working your tail off to make sure artists got what they deserved and the recognition they deserved, but when you were able to like sit back and say, man, this is something special, what was that time like for you?
So I remember this little, gathering called Freaknik.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, the city was on fire. I mean, so you talk about Freaknik, Source Awards, winning the World Series, like, really? I mean, that's why everybody was looking at us like, what y'all doing down there? Like, people was quick to call us country boy. Everybody wanted to come and hang out and party with us. I'm like, yeah, now y'all want to be around us country folks. But all jokes aside, like it was incredible. There was another club called the Warehouse, Club Kaya. Like, I mean, I think Kaya was in 95, but I know the Warehouse for sure was popping. And, it was just at a time where people could go out and just feel good. It wasn't no drama. We were trying to have a good time. Even during Freaknik, when we shut down 75, 85, no lie, I'm giving out Oukast tapes, going, running up the cars and just passing out tapes. But like, it was all love in the air. Like nobody was beefing. It wasn't no drama. It was just a good time. It was the true time, as Big said. It's like true Atlanta. It's what we did. We had a good time. We supported one another, whether it was sports, supporting music or vice versa. Like it was all love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another fun fact. I'm to my closeness with the Braves. When we were about, I think I was in the elementary school when we first moved to Atlanta. My mom dated Hank Aaron's son. And we lived with them for the summer in the lake house, right? So it was me, my brother, my sister. So you know how you used to have like the 1-800 lines where you can call the Muppets and talk to the Muppets? Man, we was calling it every day. We ran that man phone bill up to about $10,000. They sent back to Savannah, man. It was crazy. But that's a true story. I just talked to him like when we was cooking the lobster. He called me, told me, boy, you still owe me money for my phone bill. But yeah, my mom dated Hank Aaron Jr. for sure. That's
wow.
Facts. Big facts. Yeah.
That's big facts, man.
That's my dog too, man.
Yes. That is fantastic. When you think about just the community of Atlanta, how did it shape you as a radio personality, Greg? And then we'll ask you, Big, like how did it shape you as an artist? Like just Atlanta. I know, Greg, I mean, you're well versed. You've been a lot of places. You've done a lot of things, but I feel like Atlanta has a very, very special place in your heart. And how has it shaped you as a personality?
Yeah, a big place. I mean, just the whole culture of the city, from philanthropy to fashion to just cultural things that you're connected to. There's always a big foundation of people that have a genuine love for the things that you love because there's so many people. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that look like you. And there's so many people that do what you do, because like right now, it's not even about just black and white and Latino and whatever. It's just about what you like to do. You know what I'm saying? I just spoke to a guy, his last name is Das too, DASS, the guy who has the big program that teaches kids how to do phenomenal on the SAT and the college test scores. And he's an Indian. And he's Outkast's favorite group.
Yeah.
We had this conversation on a conference call 2 days ago, because he wants to bring his program to help kids make exceptionally high scores on their college acceptance exams to the city of Atlanta. And he got off on a thing about making beats and loving hip hop and being down with it from the beginning, and Outkast his favorite group. Like, so just Atlanta culturally is so much bigger than most people think. Like, they know it's big, but some people don't really see just how big it is. Like, it's bigger than music. It's bigger than sports. It's bigger than civil rights. It's bigger than fashion. It's bigger than art. But when you take all those things and put them together, that's what makes it so big. Because like, when you go to a Braves game, when you go to a Falcons game, when you go to a Swarm game, when you go to a lacrosse game, you see it. It's every race of people enjoying all of these things that they love on a whole nother level. When you go to a concert, it's the same situation. So like, the city for me is like, it's like the ultimate city. Like, you can't ask for no more. Like, unless you're just sorry and lazy, it's always something to do. And it's always a way to take the things that you have a genuine passion for and turn them into something that you can just be proud of. And it's not just from the money side, just enjoying it. Like, when you enjoy doing what you're doing and enjoy being where you are, the money will chase you.
Yeah.
You don't even really have to be concerned about the money part.
Right. Big, I want to get your take on how, Atlanta shaped you as an artist, but also add into that when the Braves won the World Series in 1995. Tell me what that feeling like was for you.
I mean, well, just being here, and it's like Street said, it's the people. You know what I mean? The people, the culture, it's the Southern hospitality. Like, I have homes other places, but I never lived nowhere but Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, I never went off and just moved to LA or moved to New York, or I was about to go to Miami for that tax break. But, you know what I'm saying? They said they checking driver license down there. But anyway.
And they get you back on the property taxes.
Right. So anyway.
Same trick in Texas.
So, it's just all about the vibe of the city. Like, you can feel it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that look like us. Like we say, I mean, Black business from the times of Maynard Jackson's up until now. We got Keisha Bottoms. Like, it's all about the upliftment. And when they brought the film industry here, that just it had us on track to really take over before all this stuff happened, which I think everything will jump back on track soon. But, the jump to the Braves winning the World Series just make you feel like a winner. Like, our team won something, you know what I mean? And we won. And I mean, we winning, you know what I mean? So it's I think it's all divine too, and it was all in time. So, I mean, you get what you work for, man. So you just got to keep on pushing.
Right.
The Braves is the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys of Atlanta. When you think about Chipper Jones to the Braves is like what Tom Brady was to the New England Patriots.
Okay, I get that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the sports franchise over decades and decades and decades, from all the way back in the day, that built a foundation, just like Outkast. Outkast to hip hop is what the Braves are to Major League Baseball. They were the beginning for Southern rap. They wasn't like the beginning for Southern rap, like the Braves probably wasn't the beginning for Major League Baseball, but they were so close to the beginning of what when they came in the game, what they brought to the game, the timing of what they brought to the game always makes it seem like it was the beginning for the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Forget about Dion on that too, man. That brought the flash to the situation.
Yes.
That's prime time.
Yeah.
Hotel Tony.
Hey, man.
Billy Ocean.
Hey,
Sir Lucy's left foot.
Sir Lucy's left foot.
Still bubbling, baby.
Right. Shanti, I want to definitely bring you back in. When you look back over the course of your career and just the successes, obviously the highs and the lows, how much of your root in Atlanta, being from here, working projects like Outkast, Tony Braxton, how much of that has been able to sustain you, the foundation of Atlanta?
Oh, I mean, it's everything. You know, I unlike Big Boy, I did leave Atlanta for a time period. I moved up to New York City in 2000. But the running joke was, you know, my friends in New York was like, man, you going home again this weekend? Like, I was always on a plane back to the A. Like, I always wanted to go back, and whether it was coming to Braves games or going to hang out with friends, like, my life was always here. And I tell people, like, Atlanta is just one of those special kind of places. Sometimes it's hard to explain, but like the love and the camaraderie and, you know, growing up in the Southwest ATL and being around, you know, like I hung out with Maynard Jackson's son. And, you know, I used to take Ambassador Andrew Young's youngest son to high school, you know, when he was younger than me. And so like, I felt like it was just such a sense of pride of seeing people succeed that look like me, right? And then I also have to say this too about Atlanta sports teams, you know, people that are true to Atlanta, you know, we have really loyal fans. We've had a lot of people that have come to Atlanta, which is great, that have moved here from other places. But sometimes, you know, they're just going to support their teams and not necessarily the home teams. Right. But what I can say about Atlanta Day One fans, Atlanta Braves fans, we all the way 100. And I always kept that sense of pride with me everywhere I went. And so when the Braves won in 95, I was like, man, one of our teams finally got that ring. Like, yeah. You know what it is being a real hardcore fan. I mean, Rashan, you come from a sports family. Yes. When you go so hard for your team and it's great because you want to support them whether they win or lose, but when they get that ultimate prize and that ring, like, come on, man, like that's gonna take you throughout you're gonna ride that throughout the rest of your decade and your life. Right. So I rode off of the success of having that ring, whether it was with the Braves or, you know, being able to work for groups like Oukast and work for LaFace Records. Like, man, my pride and joy is working Oukast. You know, whenever people meet me, they be like, I know you. You work with Oukast. And so I don't take any of their credit because Dre and Big were geniuses, but to have a front seat and to witness that greatness and to have have been there right beside them that day that they won a Source Awards, like, man,
wow.
What else can you ask for?
Yeah. We're gonna wrap up in just a second, but I want everybody to answer this. What does the A mean to you? Big, you gonna kick us off?
Yes. What does the A mean to me? I have to say ATLians. We out of this world. You feel me? Ain't nobody like us. That's what it is. And we love grits, girls raised in the South. You feel me?
That's us.
You can't you can't beat that. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
Right. Yep. No, you're sorry.
Hey man. Hey, I'm biased.
Yes. We are one of a kind, darling. We are. Greg, what up, man? What you think, man? What does the A mean to you? When you see the A, when you rock the A, when you make money in the A, what does the A mean to you?
I mean, the A is bigger than money to me. The A is just like, it's home. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you think about your parents, like my parents wasn't from where we were born. So that's what Atlanta is to me. Atlanta's my home. You know, Mobile is one of my homes, but Mobile was actually my mom's home. Houston was a home for a minute. Dallas was a home for a minute. But Atlanta's like it's like that place that your parents moved to, and it became home for your family.
Yes,
that's basically what it is to me. I mean, like, you know, me and Rashan have had numerous candid conversations. Of course, me and Shanti have had candid conversations for over 25 years before I even moved to Atlanta. And of course, Big Boy is like a blood brother.
Absolutely.
So you know, it's like when you got so much extended family, because I saw a quote the other day, it's like you're born into your blood family, but you grow into your other family. And it's like I've grown up a lot around a lot of people in Atlanta and a lot of people think you're supposed to like and love everybody that's a part of your growth. And you have to learn to appreciate some of the people who don't agree with everything you say. You have to learn to appreciate people who don't ride with everything you want to do, because those people are the people that really contribute to your greatness.
Yes.
It's not just all about all the people that pat you on the back and tell you, you know, everything you do is great and you're the greatest thing on earth. Those are not the people that make you great. The people that make you great are the people that challenge you and are a man or woman enough to tell you, like, that's not it.
Right.
You might want to turn left on this one instead of turning right.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to, study this a little bit more before you jump out the window. those are the people that make you great. It's not the people that like I said, that just agree with everything you say. So like for Atlanta, for me, like I'm saying, just to have relationships with the different people that I have relationships, it's like it's a huge blessing, and it's a huge honor, and it's a huge opportunity that a lot of people sometimes don't understand, because a lot of us go around thinking that people hate you and people like I don't know if you saw the video I made the other day, but you have to think what are the similarities in BS and cow manure? Cow manure is sold in the commercial world as fertilizer. So everybody that you think is BS is bringing BS to your life, they really bringing fertilizer to you to make you grow and to make you bigger, make you stronger, make you better. So I mean, Atlanta's everything to me.
Yeah, right. Shanti, as the woman you are, the woman who I've looked up to since my first day that I walked into LaFace Records, I was like, who is that? I think I know her, but what is she doing and why is she so dope? I need to be like her. What does the A mean to you?
So the A to me, Rashan, means authentic. You know, we got this saying that we say, A-town, stay down. And I got to tell you, whether I've talked to somebody from Atlanta in a year, in 6 months, or it's been 10 years, we pick right back up where we started. I mean, there is this camaraderie, right? It's this unspoken love and camaraderie amongst people that are from true Atlanta, old Atlanta, whatever you want to call it. But anybody that's from Atlanta, like, oh, you're from the A? Oh, you're from, what, Ash, oh, you from the A? Like, it's just that love that we give. You go into that Southern dialect and you start talking trash in a good way, but it's like, I ain't never felt so much love and traveling all around the world. Like, I got to tell you, it's different. It's different. Like Greg said, when you touch down in that airport, you know, when you got somebody, a worker just giving you a smile just cause it's sunny outside. They might not know you from a can of paint, but the A is authenticity. And even when you deal with adversity, man, through ups and downs, through your team winning and losing, like, we still love each other. We still support each other. You know, Greg, I can call Greg any day. I know he's going to get back to me. I know he's going to support whatever I'm doing, whether it's with the foundation or with the Braves or whatever. Big boy, that goes without saying. Like, I've been knowing Big since he was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. Yep. Always love. I love his whole family. Like, it's authentic, man. I can't explain. And you know that they going to be there with you till the wheels fall off.
Till the dang wheels fall off. Yeah. I'm so happy.
Right. People from the A, we were there in 95. We're going to be there with the Braves when we win this next World Series. We're going to be there with Big and Dre. And you know, when they do the next great thing that they want to do, like, man, it's the real.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick story before I let y'all go. My dad, legendary high school football coach, Coach Buck. Yeah, Southwest DeKalb. But because, you know, my dad is a teacher in the summertime, he would actually be a ticket taker. He was a ticket taker at Fulton County Stadium. So I always go to the Braves game. So I have the Braves organization has been innately within me my entire life. So, I mean, that's a quick story that a lot of people don't know, but like my dad actually was like, he had on the vest, the blue plaid vest, and he used to take the tickets. But yeah, man. So shout out to the Atlanta Braves as we continue to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the World Series, 1995. Yeah. Big boy, Greg Street, Shanti Das, thank you so much for your time today. Peace up.
Hey,
down.
Yeah.